Hey guys, Ninja here, and welcome back to StoneBlock 3. In today's episode, we're going to continue exploring the incredible mod that is Create. We're also going to work on getting our initial Tinker Construct tools. And of course, we're going to dive even deeper into our quest book. You may also notice we got our first diamond. It dropped from a random loot bee while we were visiting one of our friends, and we were very lucky because they let us keep it. But enough rambling. Let's get today's episode started by jumping into a quick time lapse. So I think our water wheel setup turned out quite nice. We don't have a whole lot of building blocks, but we used what we had. Some stone, some glass, and some more of our greenery. I think it turned out pretty good. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. We added a couple of trees as well to kind of add to our lush environment here. We added some of the carpet and moss back, and we extended our floor over, which we need to work on this. I don't like the way this looks. I don't have anything on me at the moment, but I'll worry about that later. But essentially, my plan isn't to stay here too long. We're going to spend another episode or two working on some getting started create stuff over here. We may expand this area a little bit more, but my plan long term is to create a path going that way, 20-25 blocks, and that's where we'll actually build our primary base for this series. And this will be like a little entrance area into our primary base, so people that join and want to come view can see where we got started at. But we're gonna head back into our little hobbit hole and take a look at our quest book and see what we need to work on next. So taking a look at our quest book, in the getting started section, the next item that we need to craft from Create is the Encased Fan. But in order to craft the Encased Fan, it requires a shaft, an andesiite casing, and this propeller. Well, to craft the propeller, you need some iron sheets. And if you take a look, we could go the cheaty route and use an immersive engineering hammer, but I really want to stick with Create. And in order to craft them the Create way, we'll need to go back to our quest book, drop down to Create, and craft this mechanical press, which requires one iron block, one andesiite casing, and one shaft. We already have the shaft. We have enough iron to make this block of iron, but we need to make this andesiite casing. And if I'm looking at the instructions correctly, it looks like we just put a strip log on the ground and then hit it with an andesiite alloy, which I think we have some of that. So let's go over here and see what we got. So we have, yeah, there's an andesiite alloy. And where is our, oh, there, we already have that. And then we'll get 9 iron to make a block of iron. So let's get rid of all that. There's our block of iron. Now let's take one of our logs. And they're all in our pocket storage actually. And I kind of started using this because it auto picks things up. So we got apples, dirt, our 3 types of logs we've been using, stone, cobble, and andesiite. Our main resources that we gather in bulk. So now we just need to take one of these, set it down on the ground, and then do we right click it? We need to first strip it, and then do we right click it? Yes. Oh, well that's super simple. So we're gonna pick that up. And now we should be able to craft our mechanical press. And we're going to grab that. We're going to grab 4 of our iron ingots because I believe that's how many we needed for the propeller. And we're going to go outside where our water wheels are at. And we're just temporarily going to place this up against this shaft. That should work. Yes, see it spinning. And we should be able to just throw, we'll just do one at a time here and get us some plates. It's going to take a little bit of time. Now that we have all 4 of our iron sheets, we can head back inside and work on crafting that other item in the getting started section, which was our encased fan. And we actually can just go ahead and look that up instead of going through our quest book. And there is the encased fan right there. So we have the shaft, we need to craft this propeller, and we're going to need 1 more zinc alloy. And I don't remember how those were made, so let's go look one more time. Andesite. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now there's our andesite alloy, and we needed that to make 1 more of the andesite casing. So we'll put a log down, strip it, and then right click it with our alloy. Not right click, right click. We're not kicking nothing. Wouldn't that be funny if you could kick in Minecraft? All right, we got our andesite casing, our propeller, and our shaft, and now we have our encased fan. And that is 2 quests knocked out, so let's go get our random reward. And let's see what we got. I wasn't paying attention. We got basic pipe upgrade and mob masher upgrade smite. Man, we are just not really getting really good loot other than our crystal chest. My buddies have been getting some really good stuff. Oh, we did get our vile sword, but most of this stuff isn't very useful right now. The tanks have been useful, but other than that, we really haven't gotten anything that good. Well, I'm going to take a moment to gather some resources because I believe we just used up almost all of our iron. Yeah, we have 2 left. And then once I get some more iron, we are going to craft this mechanical mixer, and then we're going to set all these up so they look nice over in our new area. Temporarily, I just set up our millstone over here by our mechanical press and was playing with some cog wheels and looking at some of the crate information that you can find inside of REI. But essentially, you can do 90-degree turns with the large cog wheels. You cannot do that with the small ones. And then you can double the speed by going from a large cogwheel to a small cogwheel. And you can also half the speed by going from a small to a large. So we're bringing it out here on this shaft. We're turning it and then doubling the speed using the small cogwheel. And as you saw, we grounded almost up a whole stack of gravel significantly faster than we can with a hand crank, and it didn't use any hunger, more importantly. Also, notice that you can shift look into these and see the status. So that's something I actually just discovered. So I can show you what it's all about. So if we throw some more in there, you can see that it's running. And if you shift and look at it, you can see it's got 16 gravel and what it's currently holding as a output. And we'll come back and get that later. We have everything we need to craft our next item. So we're gonna go ahead and head inside and work on that. And that is going to be our mechanical mixer. And it requires an andesite casing, a small cogwheel, and a whisk. And the whisk is 5 iron sheets and 2 andesite alloy. And we have everything for that, so we'll go ahead and craft that. And then we should be able to craft our mixer. And that gives us 3 of our primary create items: our mechanical mixer, our mechanical press, and then the third one was our crushing wheel. So we still need to make that. If we go over to create, we can go ahead and accept our random reward. And man, speed upgrade, something we're not going to use for a really long time. Let's go ahead and put those in there. I sure wish we could get some stuff we could use now. And if we take a look, the next thing that we need to do is this cogwheel, or at least that's what I would like to do. We may have to do some other stuff first, but I got to looking at it. In order to craft this crushing wheel, you need one of the mechanical crafter setups, which is 21, I believe, of these mechanical crafters, and they're set up in a 3 5 5 5 3 row, and there's a certain way you have to sequence them, and then they craft things. So we need to look at setting up this, and I believe all said and done it's 5 by 5. So I think that will fit on this back wall. Oh yeah, it'll fit perfectly on this back wall. And if we want to expand, we can just make a hallway right here or widen the room going that way, which is what we'll probably end up having to do. Or we could do some more on this side or use some of this in here. We'll just have to see. We could also make a door in here and go like right here, get rid of this plant, make a door and make another room over there. I think what we're gonna take a moment and do is set up some of our tinker stuff. I don't think we have enough yet for the smeltery. We need a few more balls of clay. I've been working on some here and there. I'm sure you saw the drippers. We've got 58. That might be enough. Let's see what we can come up with 58. So I was able to craft some more smeltery components. We've got some seared bricks, we have the fuel tank, and we have the seared drain. We already have some faucets and a basin and a casting table, but we are really not able to create the controller without setting up our melter. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. I was looking through the puny smelting and just kind of re-familiarizing myself with early tinkers because it's been a little while since we started a new series, or pack I should say. So we're gonna put the seared melter right there, and we're gonna put the heater up under it. And for now, we'll just put some of our coal inside of it. And then we'll put our basin on one side and the casting table on the other. And then we'll attach 2 faucets. And that's probably as complex as this setup is gonna get. So we should be able to take one of our seared bricks, and I think it is clay or grout. Let's take a look at the controller. It is molten copper. Interesting. How much? 4 ingots? Ooh, that's almost all we got from Lucky Rewards. Is that the only way to craft that? Sure enough. All right, well, we're gonna use 4 of our copper ingots. You can only do 3 at a time, so we'll wait for these to smelt and then we'll add the other one. We'll go ahead and stick our seared brick in there, and it is now ready to go. So we can right click that, and that will give us our controller. And now that we have our controller, we can go ahead and take a quick peek at our quest book. And although this quest is completed, we don't have enough components to set all this up yet, but we will go ahead and accept the reward and the book so we can kind of start looking at next steps. But for today's episode, we're going to put this smeltery stuff up because we don't need any of it. We are going to take our blank sand cast, and we're going to work on making us some iron tools that we can repair. We was able to get an iron pick and an iron handle. With Tinkers, they don't have shovels anymore. They have combination tools, and I guess we could have looked at crafting those, but there's trade-offs to using those. And right now, since we're in a primary stone world, I'm just not going to worry with a shovel at the moment, because most of our stuff is moss, which I can pick up really easy with a pick. But down the road, we'll probably look at crafting one. I've been hitting the little loot bees as they pop up. And quite frankly, I feel like James Wood sometimes. It's like whatever I'm doing, I have to stop. It's like a piece of candy. I've got to go get it right away. But we are up to 3 diamonds now that we can add to our chest here. And we also got a couple aluminum ingots and a couple osmium ingots. And speak of the devil, where is he at? Where's my candy? Oh, he is outside. That's an easy one. But we'll wait for him to start spawning stuff. And while we do that, we're going to look at this last item that I got, and that is an uncommon backpack. This is awesome. We can go ahead and slot this, and now we have a backpack. I don't know what the key binding is on that. I'll have to go look at my settings. The last time I had to set it to something else, but it does hold 33 stacks. So that's really nice. That's a really good backpack. Where did our bee go? Come on, start dropping stuff. He ain't really dropping anything. We'll give him a moment here. He should start. There he goes. What we get? Oh, we don't want that. Not right now anyways. More of those stupid upgrades. And a battery. Oh my goodness, another upgrade. Ooh, our garden looks good. Was that a diamond or an egg? It was an egg. So we didn't really get anything to. Ooh, I'm about to say we didn't get anything too good. Well, oh, that despawned. We already got 2 of those anyways. But what we're gonna do, so I got to look in. There are ways to get into the create stuff that we need. There's just a whole process chain of setting up some of the machines that we already built. And the first phase of that is going to be setting up some of these encased fans. So we're gonna need to build a couple more and using those to get some items that we can then turn into additional items to make our multi-panel crafter so we can get our crushed wheel. So we're gonna work on getting some of this stuff set up over here now. So I have been busy. I have spent the last couple of hours learning all about the Create mod, focusing on the items that we have here and how we can use our shafts and cogwheels to move our stress units around, which is the power source that the mod Create generates and uses. So items like these water wheels generate stress units, and I believe each one of these is generating 256 stress units. And then machines like our mechanical press are using 256. And I can see that because we used our 1 piece of gold that we got from a loot bee to make these engineering goggles. So when you're placing items like shafts or cogwheels, it'll display information about the rotational direction, and it'll also let you see what each one of these machines are currently using. You can also control the rotational speed by offsetting the cogwheels, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. The downside to that is it doubles the amount of stress units that a machine uses. So when I originally set all this up, I didn't realize that, and I had this thing running at triple speed, and it was using almost all of our stress units up. So now it's running at the default speed of the whatever this is, because that already is using 256. This machine, you can tell, is spinning faster, and it's using 256. So its default speed is 128, but it's not enough to function. And the way you could speed these up is by offsetting the wheels. So if you put them in the same plane, so big, little, big, it doesn't change the speed. But if you go on a little one and extend it with a big cogwheel, that big cogwheel is now spinning at the speed of that little cogwheel. And you can see it's clearly moving faster than that one. It's technically, I think, double speed. So each time it doubles the speed. And this is running the default speed, which is our millstone. Nothing new about that. And we have our Encased Fan now set up, and it is running at its default speed of 64. And as far as new items, we've added gearboxes, this depot, and this basin, and we accidentally used it. We'll come back to that at the end. But essentially these depots function like crafting tables. So if we had an ingot, we'll go grab an iron ingot real quick. And we'll go throw this on the basin under the mechanical press. And you see it kind of functions as like a crafting table. It grabs it, it holds it, and then we can right click it and take it off. And now we have an iron sheet. Much better than just throwing it down on the ground in the corner like we were doing. And it will function the same way with our encased fan. The basin is basically like a vanilla, what are those things called? Let's go take a look. Cauldron. It's sort of like a vanilla cauldron. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. And you put items in it based on the recipe, and it drills down and mixes it. And I was looking and testing around to make soul sand, which if we take a look at that, soul sand is generated from a mob soul, water, and sand. And if you combine all that in the mixer, it will auto trigger and go down, and it made the soul sand before I could get the stuff out. I was gonna do that on camera, but we'll go ahead and click that. That will complete a reward. So now we have one soul sand. But now that we have one, I think there's a way that we can duplicate it without having to use a mob soul. Now, moving over to our encased fan, we should be able to get a bucket of water, which we'll go inside and get that. We should be able to just drop this bucket of water in front of the encased fan. And if you read the quest book about the encased fan, it basically takes the air that's passing through either water or lava, and there's a couple of other items that can be used, and it washes them or blasts them depending on what's in front of it. And we can use the depot to hold items, I think. So we have some sand and gravel, and we have some dust. So what we're gonna do now is just, well, we're gonna test it first. So we should be able to put a piece of gravel there, and it actually put it all on there. But it should be washing that gravel, and it does appear to be doing that. It's just gonna take some time. So we're gonna sit here, we're gonna wash some gravel, we're gonna wash some sand, we're gonna wash some dust, and we're gonna see what we get. Oh wow, we got some goodies already. We're gonna take all that. We got 1 diamond, we got 18 lapis, and we got an emerald. We got some okay stuff. Let's see what happens when we wash sand. Ooh, look at all those goodies. I can already see what we wanted, which was the gold and the copper. So we'll go put this stuff in our chest, and then we'll wash the dust. All right, now we're gonna wash this dust, and it shouldn't take long. While we're waiting on that to wash, I wanted to show you this backpack. So I did set the key binding, and it was still not working, but it says open in hand to set up. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. And I guess that's all you have to do. It says auto pickup disabled, holds 33 sacks. I mean, that's pretty decent. So we can slot that on our back here, and then open it with our key binding, and then we can move stuff around. And we got some much needed redstone. Ooh, we got some sky stone dust. Nice. Some bone meal. All right, we'll probably have to continue washing stuff, but let's go ahead and see what quest we just completed. So we've got our gold. We'll take our random reward. Ooh, a tier 2 cobblegen, which should have completed another quest. An anvil, that's useful. We also got our soul sand. And we are getting very close to finishing the getting started section. And if we go over to create, we have our goggles. Ooh, we just got a diamond chest. Very nice. I would also like to craft this wrench. What does it take to craft that? Oh, yeah, gold. Well, we have gold now. Do we have enough gold? We have 5. So let's smelt some gold real quick. All right, we now have 5 gold ingots, so we can take 3 of these and turn them into plates. And that should give us 3 plates, and we should be able to make our wrench for create. We now have our wrench, which is 1 more class to complete. And we got something we can't use. Well, I think with that, we're gonna take a moment and figure out what we're gonna work on next. So I did a bit more reading, and we're getting really close to wrapping this episode up. But before we do that, I really think we can get our mechanical crafter set up. And I got to looking, and we needed 1 more of these encased fans set up with a different material. So we have it ready to go. We just need to go make a soul campfire, and that is how we're going to get one of the items that we need. So in order to do that, we need our 1 piece of soul sand, which I think is in this chest. We'll just look up soul campfire. It is not. Well, there's the sand. Where is our, there it is right there. It just wasn't showing. And we also need some sticks. Is that not the recipe? Oh, it wants logs, not is it planks or logs? It's logs. Well, we'll have to get those out of our pocket storage. Right, and now that should craft our soul campfire. And we could go set this soul campfire in the same spot we have the water. And this provides us a different type of, well, this wouldn't be washing, this would be blasting. And we can use this to get one of the items we need for the mechanical crafter. And we can look at that really quickly. So in order to get the mechanical crafter, we need 3 things. We need a crafting table. That will be easy enough to craft. We need a brass casing, which is a stripped log with a piece of brass. And we can get this from Immersive Engineering Kiln. This is the only way we're going to be able to get this at the moment. We don't have ways to get it from the create method, but we can get it from an alloy kiln, which we've built in previous series, and it uses 1 zinc ingot and 1 copper ingot. And we can get the zinc ingot from cooking our zinc ore, which we have some of. And if we look up the alloy kiln itself, it's I believe I'll have to look it up, but I think it's a 3x3, and it uses these kiln bricks, which is made from bricks and sand. Stone? Appears sandstone. Not a big deal. We have a way of getting that because we have sand. and clay we can get easy enough. And back to the mechanical crafter. It also requires this electron tube, which is made from an iron plate, which we know we can make, or an iron sheet, I should say, and this polished rose quartz. This is going to require sandpaper and a rose quartz. So the sandpaper is made from sand, and paper, which is made from sugar cane pressed. And we can get sugar cane from crooking sand. Haha. So we got to crook some sand. I knew all this was possible. It's just going to require a lot of work. And the rose quartz is made from redstone, which we get from washing, I believe it's sand. It's one of the 3, sand, gravel, or dust. And then nether quartz, which we get from washing soul sand. In order to get soul sand, we need to haunt or blast, whatever you want to call it, sand over that new soul fire, and we get soul sand. So as you can see, I almost confused myself. I'm gonna have to write all that down. We have a massive list of items that we need to craft. So you know what time it's for? It is time for a crafting montage. Let's go. So I'm not sure what was going on. I may need to do a bit more research on Create, but when I connected our system up to our mechanical crafters, it locked up. So I ended up crafting 3 more water wheels. I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought maybe I wasn't generating enough SU, but now that I look at it, these are only using 20. So maybe I needed to slow it down a bunch. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I would think 5 water wheels would be enough to power all this. If I do end up having to keep these, I'll probably move them over here and make this look a little nicer, because I figured something out that we could do in this episode. But we're not going to get to that until the next one. But for today, this should work. I do know that it requires redstone, a block for the output, and all of the arrows to be facing towards that output, which is what we got here. We have a depot and a lever. So this should work. And if we go look at our grinding stone from Create, which is the next thing we're going to craft, actually it's called a crushing wheel, and it should give us 2, which is what we need. It's andesite alloy surrounding plate and wood. Stowed can be used, and a whole bunch of other blocks. So we're going to put our stone in the middle, and we're going to put plates around the edge, and then we're going to surround all that with andesite alloy. I will note that now that we have our mixer, instead of costing 2 iron nuggets and 2 andesite, it only costs 1 and 1. Now, it's showing that that's good, and it is crafted. Oh, so maybe you don't need the redstone. Maybe it's doing it automatically. I'm going to hit it anyways. But it is sending it over. Oh, that is so cool. The more that I play with Create, the more that I'm absolutely falling in love with it. So it doesn't appear I needed the redstone signal unless it was already turned on or off. I'm not sure. Regardless, it is crafting it. It's sending it down. And I hope this gives us 2, because we don't have enough stuff for 2. And it should send it to the grinding. There we go. And we do have 2, so that's 1 more craft completed. Now, we're not going to set this up in today's episode because we're running kind of long. I'm really trying to cut down the length of the episodes. It's just so hard. I get to play in, and there's just so much stuff that I want to show you guys. But for today, we're going to go ahead and clear out our quest book and see where we're at. We already know that we have the crushing wheel, so we go ahead and accept the random reward for that. Ooh, an ender air bottle. That's actually really nice. And down in Create, we have our mechanical crafter. And in immersive engineering, we have the kiln and we have the hammer. Hammer. Oh, which the reward is the engineering manual, which is nice because we don't have a book, and another random reward. And we just got a diamond impact hammer. My buddies are gonna be jealous. And that clears out our quest book. We got some pretty good loot. We need to go sort through all this, but I think for today we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Agro Ninja, and that's a wrap.